This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've covered this before, but I want to get into more detail about it because there's so many people out there that are falling for this easy to be seen deception. There's people who are applauding and saying, look, we're outing all of these, psychopaths in politics, in Hollywood, all these men who are exposing themselves to women. And everybody's falling into this narrative and believing that these people are being outed, that the New World Order is crumbling. I mean, you really have to have small, minimal, or no discernment at all to think that this is something that's naturally occurring. Remember, they control the media, right? Number one, most important thing, right? To realize with all these types of agendas that get pushed, they control it. It's not getting put on the news unless they want it there. The real things that happen in this world, the real abductions, and all this stuff that happens with these children who go missing, you'll never hear about that on the news for a reason, because we know who's doing it. We know who's behind it. We know what rings and cults are behind these things. You'll hear agenda after agenda after agenda. That's all that the news is. This agenda right now, which is exposing, quote unquote, all of these men who are making advances at women, at younger men in Hollywood, in politics, groping, pinching rear ends, all this stuff. This list continues to grow every day. And it's not a coincidence that all of these people who have, supposedly been harassed are all coming forward at the same time. That should be enough to raise a red flag, right? Or people will go, well, why all of a sudden after 20 years, 30 years, why all of a sudden are all these people coming forward? There's no, evidence at all, right? Some woman comes forward now or some person says Matt Lauer did this. Matt Lauer's instantly fired. It's all part of a plan. It's all part of an agenda, because half these people wouldn't even be able to prove that something happened 20 years ago, that somebody harassed them or did something. And these people are losing their jobs, making multi-million dollars. NBC's just pulling the plug. There is a greater picture behind this, and that's how you have to think in this world, is what are they trying to do? What is the message behind it? Who is behind it and why? And we know who is behind it. Now listen to this list before I talk about why they're doing this, what the purpose of this is, and the oath that these people take to one another, to the brotherhood, to the secret societies. This list includes, and this is just since October, Harvey Weinstein, George Bush, President George H.W. Bush, Kevin Spacey, Brett Ratner, Michael Oreskes, who was NPR top editor, Louis C.K., Roy Moore, Al Franken, Charlie Rose, U.S. Rep. John Connors, Def Jam Records mogul Russell Simmons, Pixar co-founder John Lasseter, Garrison Keller, and others. These are just ones that I'm finding right now off of a list. I'm sure there's been others, and other people have come forward. Now, what you have to understand is that these people take an oath. They swear to an oath, to a brotherhood, okay? Once they get to the third degree of Freemasonry, and all of these people in Hollywood are way beyond that. The majority of them are 33rd degree Masons. They're way beyond the third degree. But once you get to the third degree, these are the types of things that they do. These are the types of oaths that they have to take. They say, I furthermore promise and swear that I will stand and abide by all laws, rules, and regulations of the Master Mason's degree and the lodge, of which I may hereafter become a member. They say further that I acknowledge and obey all due signs and summons sent to me from a Master Mason. Further, I will always aid and assist all poor, distressed, worthy Master Masons, their widows, orphans, and such. Further, I'll keep a worthy brother Master Mason's secrets forever, when communicated to and received by me as such, murder and treason accepted. I mean, all of these oaths are within the third degree. Further, I will not cheat, wrong, nor defraud a Master Mason, nor his lodge, nor a brother of this degree. So this is an oath that they're swearing to one another, that they will never go against them, they'll never turn their backs on them, and when called upon by a Master Mason or called upon by a brother in Masonry or in these secret societies, they will do what is asked of them. Now, what's occurring here is obviously a part of an agenda, right? And people are going, well, what is it? Well, there's a lot of things behind it. 1984, the book, or if you've seen the movies, everybody knows that it is predictive programming at its finest. They are showing you exactly and programming people who read those books in school, read that book in school, showing you what the future holds with AI, with totalitarianism, a society that is no longer has freedoms, that is at the mercy of the totalitarian system, at the mercy of the government. Now, in 1984, people always talk about, well, Big Brother's spying and the surveillance. We already have that, right? We're all aware. We're completely spied on. There is no privacy. There's people listening right now to this, right? And deciding if I'm a threat or not, or what they're going to do, and shut the channel down and do all that kind of stuff, right? But sometimes it's better for them to sit in the shadows than actually pull the trigger, because it gives channels like me and people like me more credibility. But it wasn't just about surveillance. In that story, if you remember, and if you haven't seen it, the main character, Winston Smith, he has to sneak out to even date or to hook up with, or whatever you want to say, to be with this woman that he was in love with. Because they weren't even allowed to do that at that point. And that's what's coming next. You're not going to be allowed to, we know in China you can only have a certain amount of kids and things like that. It's going to be way worse than that. You're not going to be allowed to be with somebody. You're not going to be allowed to be freely who you want to be with. And they're telling you this stuff because they're saying, look at all these men. Look at all these perverts. Look what they're doing. Right? They're making people disgusted with this stuff and the things that the men are saying to these women. It's targeting males, right? White males, men in position of power. So they're saying these people are abusing the positions of power, right? Oh, they're celebrities and they just feel like they're so much more powerful than everybody else. And they want to strip that type of mindset and say, we're all on a level playing field and the government knows what's in the best interest for you. They know who you should be with, what you should be doing, right? We see all this stuff with dating websites and they'll find you the perfect match based on the fact that you both like chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness, my match must be out there because we both like Frankfurters, huh? And people go along with this stuff. We'll figure it out via, computer and AI intelligence. All this stuff fits into their narrative of control. And the freedoms that you think that we have, which really don't exist, this freedom, illusion, I should say, of freedom. But just wait, because this is going to be not only, them controlling who you can be with, what's safe for you, what's in your best interest, because everybody's going to submit all of these freedoms to the government. They already are, right? They have people who want my channel shut down, yet believe in free speech for themselves, but not for others. We have all of this stuff going on with free speech and the removal of it. And now this fine line between what's free speech and what's hate speech. Blurred lines, but they can decide what it is. Criticizing the system, hate speech. Criticizing something you don't agree with, hate speech. If it isn't the do without will mindset, it's hate speech. Let everyone do what they want and you can say whatever you want. Be on board with everybody doing any and everything that they want to do. So what you're seeing here isn't coincidental that all these people are getting victimized or getting outed in Hollywood and in politics. This is the Masons who obviously have the blueprint written. All of these secret societies have the blueprint written for what needs to happen next to get where they want to get, right? And that is the removal of free speech. That is total control, government controlling every single thing, including where you pee, when you're allowed to pee, what girl you're allowed to talk to, whether or not you're allowed to be in a relationship with somebody. They're going to control all of it. And the question that they have to answer is, how do we get from A to Z? What things do we put in place in the middle to desensitize people, to get them on board with this plan? And things like this are exactly what they do. So they get together and they go, listen, you all took an oath to the brotherhood. Now we need to get to this point where we have this type of control. So we're all going to have to take bullets. If you're somebody who's in a position of power, you're going to take a bullet in the media, right? And they go, who cares? The common person out there goes, there's no way that it's fixed. They wouldn't let their reputation get killed. They don't care about their reputation. You don't think Louis C.K. and all these guys are still rubbing shoulders with each other at Bohemian Grove and in these secret societies? You think they care what the goy, us, they view us as goy? You think they care what we think of them? Oh, Louis C.K. is now a pervert. He's a piece of crap. You think he cares? He's going, yeah, I'm a piece of crap. I know the greater picture. I know what I'm doing for the brotherhood. I know what the future holds for you people, but I'm going to be rewarded inside the Brotherhood. I'm going to continue to make millions of dollars. And even if my career ends now, it doesn't matter. They'll continue to pay me because they print money. And we allow them to print money. We allow the Federal Reserve to just print money. So all of these people who are getting outed, they've been approached and they've been told, this is what you're going to do. And this is why, because the greater picture of totalitarianism, of total control, of freedoms being gone, of the government dictating what you can and can't say, all of this stuff fits in the narrative, and we need you to take a bullet or fall on the sword for us. And they say yes. They don't go, no, wait a minute. I don't want people out there, the goy, to think that I'm a scumbag. They could care less. They look at us lower than feces. They think that we're literally lower than cattle and dung. That's what they think of us. So they don't care about their image. Their job in the public spotlight is to push narratives, is to do what they're supposed to do. Their number one goal and their loyalty is to Lucifer and to the Brotherhood and the secrets of the secret societies. They swear on these oaths. They take these oaths. And the goal is to get this pretty much to 1984, right? And we already have all this stuff in place, but now you're going to see the removals of these types of freedoms. Because the government's going to come out and say, and the media is already saying it, right? They're saying, oh, look at these men, their positions of power, how disgusting. They're taking advantage of people because they're famous. And they're going to start stripping those types of things. Let's tell everybody that it's an equal playing field, that we're all even. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or you're a regular Joe, working the 9 to 5, because they're pushing self-empowerment, which is what the Masons believe. They're their own gods. They want everyone to believe that and feel that and think that they are amazing and great and better than everybody else. And they don't have to bow down to a celebrity. But they're going to turn to the government to take care of them and protect them. They're going to turn to the government because they're going to believe the government has what's in their best interest in mind. And it's not. It's the stripping and removal of all of these freedoms that we think exist, which don't anyway. And that's what this is about. This is not something where everybody just grew a conscience all of a sudden and is going, I'm going to out Matt Lauer. I'm going to out Charlie Rose. We don't need an investigation or anything like that. I'm just going to call in. I'm going to say, hey, George Bush pinched my butt. Okay? And you think George Bush, like that would ever really happen if George Bush wasn't leading by example for the rest of the Brotherhood? That's exactly what Bush is doing. Look at him. He's a corpse in a wheelchair. Think he cares of people's viewpoint at this stage? He's probably got another year or two before he, transfers his soul to another body, as they believe. The reason he's involved in it is to set an example for the rest. They say, look, even me, I was a president, and I'll still come out and I'll still say, yeah, I pinched the girl's butt, and people will still applaud me when I enter a room and think I'm wonderful, because it doesn't really matter. Because he doesn't really care what the perception is, right? Otherwise, if there was something that really did happen, you don't think George Bush would be able to get it taken out of the media? You don't think that the editors, because all these editors at all of these, networks and all these magazines all attend the Bohemian Grove, all of them. The editors, you think of Bohemian Grove, you think of these secret meetings at the Bilderberg and stuff like that, and people are always like thinking, oh, who's there? Oh, a senator or so-and-so. The editors of these magazines and these news stations are more powerful than these people who pretend to be politicians, because they're controlling the narrative. They're told, listen, the narrative this year is to push the race war, push trans, right? These are things, and then the guy at CNN, the guy at CBS, the guy at the New York Times, they all agree. So anything that comes to their desk that's about that stuff gets greenlighted. Something like George Bush pinching butts, they would go, yeah, we're probably not going to put that in there because somebody's going to be pretty upset at the CIA and George Bush himself. But no, they want it in there, and that's why it's out there. That's why this is a main narrative now. And every day people are coming forward as these men are sexually harassing women at the workplace, right? So we're getting feminism, women's empowerment, taking the power away from men, or whatever, the perceived power that people think that these celebrities have. And little by little, freedoms are being removed, and it's turning into 1984, which is already going on. So don't fall for this stuff, because any of these things that go on are not by coincidence. This is all part of the oath, and this is all part of the oath that the Brotherhood takes, because to them, the greater picture is the New World Order. They don't care about themselves with their names getting slandered in the mud, because the reward for them here on Earth, which they believe, is greater. Because these guys, it might damn their careers, but they're still going to make millions of dollars. They're going to be paid off. They're taken care of. All the other people in the Brotherhood are patting him on the butt saying, great job, Louis C.K. Great job, Matt Lauer, for doing this for the Brotherhood and not complaining. And it's great. They get looked at as, in higher regard by these people. This is all part of a plan. All of these people who were victims didn't just get together on an AOL group chat and say, you know what, we should all do this now, October 2017. It doesn't matter if the guy showed his penis to you back in 1992. Now's the time. You feeling courageous today? And all of a sudden, all these people feel courageous at the same exact time, and they all come out at the same exact time, day after day. Stories from 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, a year. Not yesterday. The story isn't yesterday Matt Lauer sexually harassed somebody. Or yesterday, Louis C.K. exposed himself. This is stuff that's apparently happened years ago. And nobody finds it cool. Nobody's looking at it going, wow, how come all at once? Oh, so what is it, the domino effect? One person came forward, and then all these people who were supposedly sexually harassed or victimized just all of a sudden grew a pair. And overnight they said, hey, you know what? I'm coming forward tomorrow. I'm calling the New York Times. Huh? That's not how it works. And it would never work that way. All of this is happening at the same time. These people, didn't all just wake up and drink courage juice and decide to be courageous. These are nameless people who are making the accusations, faceless people. And all these stars and celebrities, these false idols, are taking the bullet for the Brotherhood. This is about the greater picture for the New World Order. And this is more censorship. It's more 1984. It's more free speech being taken away, and it's more totalitarianism and total control for our government. That's what all this leads to. It doesn't lead to anything else. This isn't about people standing up for doing what's right all of a sudden because everybody just all of a sudden feels brave because one other person spoke up, so now they feel like they can speak up. And all these guys just happen to be sexual harassers, right? Define what's sexual harassment. A guy can't hit on a girl anymore. You see the fine line here? Guy can't hit on a girl. It's sexual harassment. So, okay. So you go up to a girl who might be single, you can't hit on her. You can't say, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, that's sexual harassment, right? Like a guy at work can just say, hey, you look great today. I love your outfit. Or something in passing, right? The girl can go, that's sexual harassment, and go tell the boss. So what's the greater picture? The greater picture is what are they taking away? What are they removing? What can you and can you not say? And people are going to be on board. They're going to go, yeah, that's sexual harassment. Keep it in your pants. Don't tell someone they're beautiful. That's crossing a line. And they don't see what they're trying to do here. It's pretty easy to see. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.